I like the terminology mainframe because I think it's very easy to look at the small, diverse little elements in a system, but they almost happen like blink decisions. It's something that just evolves in front of you. But first you need mainframe. You need the main components of design very carefully thought through, long protracted thinking before fast, thoughtless action. So an approach to design is usually water first, access second, structural positions third, before anything else. Water is such a life-enhancing element. Life is based in carbon and water, very simple elements, but water behaves in many ways in a very constant style, constant fashion. Water sits level. Water flows at right angle to contour across landscape, across any surface. Water self-cools itself as it boils at 100 degrees centigrade because evaporative cooling as it steams off holds it at that temperature. Many things dissolve in water. It's hard to find the same water in different locations because so many things are dissolved in water. It's the great absorber of and transporter of nutrient in the world, but it's a double-edged sword, of course, like most things. It's also the great eroder. So, and as water evaporates, it cools the air, and as it condensates, with a little bit of condensation drip this morning, it warms the air. These are all things we can design. But when we're designing water into landscape, we need to find the patterns of water to conform with, because the landscape is a continuum of form that we're working with, and often we're compensating for the landscape form outside of our property boundary because it's still affecting us. So water first, we get our patterns of water and the potential of those. Now you might not be able to install them all, your client might not be able to afford it, but it's nice to know where they are and inform your client of that. Now, access. You have to thread access through the water patterns as a second priority. Now, access can be very expensive and it needs to be designed to have multi-functions because otherwise it's just expense without any added extra benefit. Water can be harvested on hard surfaces like access roads, access tracks, footpaths, all the different types of access. But access is most stable when it's perfectly on contour. It's then a passive water harvester. It's very passive to use. If you're not on contour or close to contour, then it's best if you're going right down the middle of a ridgeline. Now you're going to cross your contour lines on ridgelines. So you need crossing pipes on your water pattern of, say, swales and water harvesting systems on contour. But you're on the ridge. Now the ridge is most passive as a second option because water runs to either side of the road. So you're getting a divided runoff without the need for extra earthworks of V-drains to direct the water. It just runs passively away from the ridge and it spreads off ridges. So the water is naturally pacifying as the hard surface picks it up and distributes it from the hard surface to the soaking, soft, life-rich surface. Let's go through it again. On contour as a priority or as close to it, try and avoid steepness. Can't always, but there you go. Close to contour or on contour, great. Then down the center of ridgelines to displace water. Those are the best priorities. So you're looking for priorities. So then if it's harmonizing with water, it can be catching to water harvest. It can be direct into soft living spaces. You're pacifying water all the time, slowing it down, extending its journey. Stop it, slow it, soak it, dilute nutrient into it. All great strategies. Your access cooperates with that. Your pattern's already starting to look harmonic. Now, structural positions start to become more obvious. how far into a property, where is it best positioned, is the structure itself are you going to need to prioritize the water harvest off the structure because you haven't got many earthwork positions that you can use? Where are the options of structural positions? These are mainframes. So you're looking often for the highest point on the lowest boundary for the longest, highest contour line. That's often a great starting point to start your water pattern thinking. And you're thinking this through many, many different ways before you then start looking at, like, so, okay, where are the zone patterns? Where are the zones around human activity? Where are the zones around human occupation and structures? What are the sectors coming through? The energies coming through the site? What are the slopes? What are the orientations? What are the soil types and geologies? Now we're building on our mainframe, we're building on the skeleton. And this gives you as a designer great confidence that you really got that nailed. I hope that at the end of this course, you'll be a compulsive mainframe viewer of the world. You'll see the world in mainframe patterns. Even as you're driving, or you're sitting on the train, you're sitting on a bus, you're sitting on a transport system, or even flying in a plane, you're looking at the landscape, you're looking at the world, and you're seeing potential mainframes. That's sort of a nice filter that is on your vision and in your thinking. Because you can end up with life abundance like we've got singing out around us with those beautiful eastern whipbirds. Life is attracted to these abundant patterns. We're a very attractive system to the diversity of life. There's now 112 bird species we've counted on this site. I've just seen 2 more, I'm pretty sure. We're going up to 114. We started off in 53. 18 years ago, when it was a very different landscape and it was a lot simpler and more like industrial grazing.